Welcome to the Gatemen Pregame Show presented by South Coast Health. Jacob Toby alongside Sam Corman and Connor Federico. The Wareham Gatemen playing host to the Chatham Anglers tonight here at Spillane Field. And Sam, we backtrack to last night, a great win for the Gatemen over the Brewster Whitecaps, 13 strikeouts for the Gatemen pitching staff.
It all started with Mason Fioli, who made his first start since very early on in the season, since June. So he came out here as a starting pitcher, family in attendance, and he was lights out. I mean, 1 hit allowed in 5 innings pitched. Basically went 1, 2, 3 from the second inning till the 5th inning. And it was really impressive watching. I mean, he was throwing 10-pitch innings like they were nothing. I mean, just he noticed that Brewster's hitters were kind of jumping, or they were waiting for like late in the count to swing, and he noticed that, and he started throwing strikes early on in the count, and that allowed him to get ahead on the Brewster hitters, and it really paid dividends for him all night. The bullpen was really good as well.
Yeah, and throwing the strikes early on, that's really been the key for the Gatemen. The bullpen, they came in a little bit, and they struggled, but not enough that Brewster was going to mount another comeback. I've really been impressed with the Gatemen starters over the last 4 outings, 23 scoreless innings, 5 hits, 22 strikeouts. I mean, so it wasn't just Mason Fioli yesterday. It's been all the guys that the Gatemen have been putting out there. 5 innings, 6 innings, 7 innings, whatever you want out of these guys, they're really coming through. It's been really impressive, all because of those first pitch strikes you just talked about, Sam.
Pitching staff was good last night, and obviously the hitting was good as well last night. Only one player didn't get a hit in the lineup, and that was Willie McIver. Yeah,
Willie McIver's been one of your hottest hitters. I guess the Gatemen decide they don't need him that day, and they'll step up with other guys. I mean, Tanner Dodson, he gets his first home run of the season, and it was the second time that the Gatemen lineup got to see Joe Moltier, the Brewster pitcher, so that gives you an advantage. And then, I mean, 20 runs in 2 days. That's
what you asked for.
Well, it's what you asked for, and especially when your starters are throwing shutouts, just everything's working in the right direction for the Gatemen.
Aggressive on the base path as well. I mean, Willie McIver now leading the league in stolen bases. He's a catcher. Yeah. So, I mean, you get guys on base, and they're stealing left and right. I mean, it seems like first pitch, second pitch, they're kind of waiting out in the at-bat towards later counts, and then they're going, and it's really fooling a lot of the other opposing pitchers. I mean, there was one instance yesterday where McIver stole third. He was gone before the pitcher even started before he even started the windup. So, if you can continue to get guys on base with singles and then get into scoring position, it really doesn't matter if you're getting extra base hits, because if you're getting into scoring position anyway via stolen bases, which the Gatemen are leading the league in, then you're good either way. You don't need as many extra base hits, which is what the Gatemen have been kind of struggling to get all season.
And they've been leading the league in stolen bases ever since day one here on the Cape. We'll take a short break here on the Gatemen Pregame Show presented by South Coast Health. But when we come back, our Claudia H. Caveman will catch up with pitching coach Jim Lawler.
When you're sick or injured, you want care when and where it's convenient for you. South Coast Health Urgent Care has 4 locations: Fairhaven, Wareham, and now in Seekonk and Dartmouth. You can view wait times and even check in online at southcoast.org/urgentcare. Choose the time and location that's best for you. We'll even remind you when it's time to come in, and walk-ins are always welcome. Urgent care that exists to meet your needs. More than you expected? That's more than medicine. Check in at southcoast.org/urgentcare.
Welcome back to the Gatemen Pregame Show presented by South Coast Health. I'm Claudia H. Caveman, joined by pitching coach Jim Lawler. So, Coach, first of all, you had some departures at the beginning of the week from Joy Matulovic and Miller Hogan. How disappointed are you to see them go after strong outings from them?
Well, anytime they have a great outing, it makes it tougher. But you know what it's going to do? It's going to give some other guys opportunity that are dying to get in right now more than they are. And that's what this thing's all about. There's another group that we're going to be able to use next, and I'm trying to get them ready.
We saw Mason Fioli last night have a very good outing. He struggled at the beginning of the season when he had those starts. So what was he really working on during that month stretch that really proved last night?
I think more than anything else, he finally relaxed and allowed himself. He's got natural talent. He's 90-93. He's got great stuff. But I was telling him, we got to throw it over the white. And he did last night. It was fun to watch for 5 innings.
And with Montgomery and Roberts being in the All-Star game this weekend, they're not starting. They pitched out of the bullpen last night. So is that a challenge trying to rework your rotation and everything, especially after those guys leaving at the beginning of the week?
Well, there's no doubt. All of a sudden, there's 4 starting rotation guys that we got to juggle, which is okay. But no, I'd rather have those 2 guys starting the next 2 days and stuff. But that's part of it, and we know that going in. And the All-Star game is a great opportunity for the kids. And so you roll with the flow and readjust and see what you can do.
And Noah Zavalis is heading to the mound today for his start. So what do you really want to see out of him since we haven't seen him start here?
Well, the thing is, I got a lot of confidence in Noah because he's got 4 pitches. He's got a plus changeup. and he knows how to pitch. And I mean, I expect to get 5 or 6 innings out of him tonight.
And the past 2 games especially, it's been all offense. That's been the big story, scoring 20 runs in the past 2 games. But the pitching has been so dominant. So what do you guys really need to work on so that continues with the pitching side?
Well, it's a simple answer. They continue to throw strikes, get ahead of the hitters, and the quality of the strikes, which that's what they've been doing lately. And I give a lot of credit to our catchers because they're calling the game. And so you're watching those guys work, and a lot of good things that are happening back there.
Great. Thanks, Coach.
You bet.
Back to you guys.
All right.
Thank you very much, Claudia. Let's preview the pitching matchup. First for the Chatham Anglers, who you got?
Justin Lasko is making the start for the Anglers. He's a UMass Amherst guy, so local guy kind of. He's from Connecticut, so coming up here to the Cape, pretty cool for him. He's pitched decently this year. ERA in the 3s, a 2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio with 10 strikeouts and 5 walks this year in a few outings. It'll be cool to see him kind of start. I don't think he started any games yet this year, and that'll be a big jump for him. If he can go 5 or 6 innings, that'd be a big boost for the Anglers, who are coming in here playing pretty well. And Justin Lasko, interesting stuff because he's got a fastball in the low 90s, a changeup in the low 80s, but then his curveball, not a high 70s curveball guy like most curveballs in this league seem to be. His curveball is coming in maybe 70 to 72 miles an hour, which can really fool some hitters maybe with the slowness of that pitch. So it'll be interesting to see the Gateman's patience on that breaking ball today if he uses it a lot.
Gateman will counter with a guy who started 1 game last year with the team and hasn't made any starts this year. That's Noah Zavalis.
Well, he hasn't made any starts this year, but he has a .60 ERA in 6 relief appearances. Zavalis has been fantastic this summer for the Gatemen. I've really liked watching him. His fastball doesn't have a ton of heat, sits around 92 miles an hour, but he can still blow it by guys just because he's a Harvard guy, high baseball IQ, really knows what pitches to go to in what situations, how to fool hitters on a 1-2 or an 0-2 count and get strike 3 without having risk for getting hurt by throwing a ball down the center of the strike zone. So Zavalis, he can really locate. He's a really smart pitcher. He did make that start last year for the Gatemen. He came back in August after the Yawkey League season was done, Summer Baseball League up in Boston. He came back for the Gatemen and had 6.2 innings in his 1 start in August before the playoffs started. So they can rely on him for plenty of innings tonight, even though he has been a reliever. We saw him at Harwich just a couple of days ago. He came in for a very long relief appearance and sort of settled down for the Gatemen, and he's really made his mark here in Wareham.
Noah Zavalis, a guy that likes to stay local from Acton, Mass, plays in Boston, of course, now plays here on the Cape. We'll take a short break here on the Gatemen pregame show presented by South Coast Health.
When you're sick or injured, you want care when and where it's convenient for you. South Coast Health Urgent Care has 4 locations: Fairhaven, Wareham, and now in Seekonk and Dartmouth. You can view wait times and even check in online at southcoast.org/urgent care. Choose the time and location that's best for you. We'll even remind you when it's time to come in, and walk-ins are always welcome. Urgent care that exists to meet your needs. More than you expected? That's more than medicine. Check in at southcoast.org/urgent care.
Welcome back to the Gatemen pregame show presented by South Coast Health. I'm Claudia Chakamian, joined by Gatemen outfielder Stephen Kwan. So Stephen, first of all, past 2 games you guys have scored 20 runs. What are you guys seeing so differently when you're at the plate that you're getting those runs and those key hits?
I think we're just more confident at the plate, taking more aggressive hacks, being smarter up there, and that's leading to more runs.
Was there anything you guys did differently today in batting practice to make sure you continue that offensive spark and you don't let anything die down today?
I think we've been, talking to each other, kind of talking about swings, talking about baseball. I think that's been working out for us.
How has your confidence been improving? Because you've been improving every time you've gotten to the plate. So what's really been working for you since you've been here?
I've been trying to, work on swinging the bat a little more, trying to be more aggressive in the zone. I usually like to take some pitches, kind of get to 2 strikes, but lately I've been trying to, swing a little earlier, and that's been working out pretty well.
You guys have won 4 straight for the first time this season. Now you're back at home. So do you think that will help you guys being back here at home tonight, trying to go for 5 straight?
Absolutely. Being at home, it's very familiar. It helps a lot. Have the home crowd behind us. So I'm envisioning another win tonight.
And then this is the first time you guys have not beaten Chatham yet, and this is the last time you guys will play them. So that put any pressure on you guys, or you just want to go out there and improve yourselves?
I don't think so. We've won our last 4 games, like we said, so we're just going to try and ride the momentum and keep it going.
Great. Thanks, Stephen.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thanks very much, Claudia. As a reminder, you can email the broadcast team at pressbox@gatemen.org. Also, feel free to follow the Wareham Gatemen on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Jacob Toby back now with our beat writer, Maddie Feld. And Feld, let's talk about this pitching staff, the rotation, the starting rotation in that matter, going forward after the All-Star break.
Yeah, Noah Zavalis gets his first start of the year today. He's a starter back at Harvard, but he'll make his first start for the Gatemen. And then Fitz Stadler, who hasn't started since that Game 2 of the doubleheader in Chatham, seemingly 9 years ago, will get the start tomorrow against Yarmouth.
9 years,
9 years, yes. It feels like that in this heat. Gets his first start since then tomorrow against Yarmouth. Dennis, I was talking to pitching coach Jim Lawler before, and he says having Montgomery and Griffin Roberts in the All-Star game is a terrific honor, but it kind of screws up the rotation because they would have started yesterday and today, and then they're also probably going to have to miss a start at the beginning of next week as well so they can throw an inning on Saturday. So definitely something to keep an eye on. The Gatemen have had to kind of retool their pitching. Brett Canine's available for an inning today, but the Gatemen definitely thin considering the All-Star game on Saturday with the amount of pitchers they've got in it.
Make sure to follow Matt Feld on Twitter because he tweets out a lot of good nuggets, and he tweeted something out this morning. The Gatemen have the leading hitter in the league, they have the leading pitcher with strikeouts and ERA, and they also have the leading base stealer in the league. That's pretty good.
That is terrific, and I, of course, had to go back through the record books just to see if there was any shot that any Gateman had any opportunity of breaking a record, and the unfortunate answer is no. Willie McIver has 15 steals. The record is 48, which I don't think that Willie McIver...
How far did you go back for that?
1972. The record for hits is over 100, which unfortunately Tanner Dodson's not going to get to. The record for ERA is .2, which Justin Montgomery, I guess, could still have an opportunity at, depending on how he pitches towards the rest of the season. But no, all around very impressive. And the Gatemen, who had the individual statistical leaders, are finally putting it together as a team. 4 in a row to get back to 500. And the Gatemen, I think, against Chatham tonight and YD 2 of the next 3 days, would gladly take a 2-1 record heading into the Fenway workout on Monday.
All right, that's Maddie Feld, our beat writer, and we'll take a break here on Gatemen Pregame Show presented by South Coast Health. Keep it here.
When you're sick or injured, you want care when and where it's convenient for you. South Coast Health Urgent Care has 4 locations: Fairhaven, Wareham, and now in Seekonk and Dartmouth. You can view wait times and even check in online at southcoast.org/urgentcare. Choose the time and location that's best for you. We'll even remind you when it's time to come in, and walk-ins are always welcome. Urgent care that exists to meet your needs. More than you expected? That's more than medicine. Check in at southcoast.org/urgentcare.
Welcome back to the Gatemen Pregame Show presented by South Coast Health. Jacob Toby alongside Sam Corman and Connor Federico, who is one player you were watching tonight here on the Chatham roster.
Well, Chatham's had a lot of good players in this entire season. It's just the consistency that's haunted them this year. They added Josh Stowers, middle of the season out of Louisville. He's an outfielder. Really high-profile guy coming out of high school, had offers from big-name schools such as Miami and, of course, Louisville, where he goes, made the semifinals of the College World Series this year. Hit over 300 for the Cardinals this year. Perfect 22 for 22 stealing bases as well. So if he gets on base, he's immediately a threat to run around the gravel infield at Spillane Field because, I mean, the guy can fly. So Josh Stowers, really good defensive player in the outfield, really good on the base paths, and also really effective at getting on base. He's really going to be a guy for the Gatemen pitchers, especially Noah Zavalis, to watch today.
Connor, who are you watching today?
Well, an everyday catcher, DHer for the Chatham Anglers. A little lower in batting average, hitting about .250 is Shea Langoliers out of Baylor, and he had a great spring for the Bears. Now coming in to Chatham, 6 home runs. He leads the Anglers in RBIs, so he's a guy that can really get it done in the power game, and that's got to be concerning for the Gatemen.
And you talk about the home runs. Is what can the Gatemen do to stop these home runs?
Well, I mean, just keep doing what they've been doing over the past 4 days. That's my key to the game today. Do not give up that long ball. Keep the pitches for Noah Zavalis down in the zone where you're not going to get hurt. If you're going to go high, make it that high fastball, you know, about like at eye level. Hopefully they'll swing and miss. But, I mean, keep everything at knee level. Throw that 2-seam fastball that he's got, and it's a lot of fun to watch. Get ground balls. Do not let this Chatham lineup take you yard, especially at Spillane Field.
And your key to the game, sir?
I mean, just to elaborate on that, I mean, the Gatemen have given up a home run to the Chatham Anglers every single game. Nick Patton, Shea Langoliers. I mean, Noah Zavalis, that 2-seamer down in the zone for him can really be effective in doing that and preventing the long ball. So for him, that 2-seamer is going to be really important against this Chatham lineup. And my key to the game for sure is to knock out Justin Lasko as early as possible, because the Gatemen, in all 3 games against the Chatham Anglers this season, have really struggled to score early in the game. They did score 2 early runs last time at Spillane Field. However, they just didn't elaborate on those 2 runs. They just kind of stopped against the starter, and they were unable to access that bullpen earlier in the game. They would have liked to get to that Chatham bullpen earlier. Chatham's a team that has struggled later in the games against teams recently, so I think that the Gatemen, if they can knock Justin Lasko out, maybe score 4 or 5 runs on him, that should be enough based on the way the starting pitching has pitched for the Gatemen.
Gatemen trying to go over 500 for the first time in a very, very long time. That'll do it for us here on the Gatemen pregame show presented by South Coast Health. Make sure to follow it, the live stream rather, on YouTube right at 6:30. So for Connor Federico, Sam Corman, I'm Jacob Toby, and thanks for watching.